Okay, here's one for you. On which side do sheep have the most wool? The outside. Okay, yeah, that was bad. So here's another. What do you call a wolf in sheep's clothing? A wolf. Yep, that's pretty much all the intro that you're getting for this video. In this tutorial, we'll cover the basics of this worker, explaining everything that you'll ever need to know about the Mine Colony Shepherd. The shepherd is a simple yet essential part of your colony's food and material production needs. They raise and look after sheep within their hut's holding pen, supplying your colony with raw meat from butchered animals, as well as providing any byproduct drops from the sheep, such as wool, for your colony's use. The shepherd will breed together any adult sheep within their hut's area, then lovingly care for the resulting little baby sheep, nurturing it until it too becomes an adult. At which point, the shepherd's true nature will come out, as they then take an axe to the poor little thing's face. But hey, no one's ever said no to free meat, am I right? The shepherd's hut is classed as a husbandry build within the agricultural category. The hut block can be created by using a pair of shears alongside wooden planks of any type and a build tool. After construction, a shepherd will be assigned to the shepherd's hut if it has been set to automatic hiring. The shepherd does not catch and bring back any sheep to their hut. You, the player, will need to supply them with their sheep. Sheep can be easily led back to the shepherd's hut by using a piece of wheat to lure them, or by attaching a lead to them. The shepherd only breeds and butchers sheep within their hut's area, so all sheep will need to be brought back directly into the holding pens of the hut for the shepherd to get to work. It is advisable to supply the shepherd with 2 sheep to begin with, so that the shepherd has enough sheep to begin breeding them and start gathering their drops for your colony. There are a few settings for you to play around with within the shepherd's hut interface, which we will go into more detail about later on. These settings include if your shepherd will breed their sheep together, if your shepherd will feed their sheep, if your shepherd dyes their sheep's wool different colours, and if your shepherd will share their sheep's wool. Shepherds will need to be supplied with wheat to feed their sheep, alongside axes to butcher them and shears to shear them. Although depending on the settings that you toggle on for them, then they may need all or only some of these items. The shepherd only raises 2 sheep at a time per hut level. So, with a level 1 shepherd's hut, they can only raise up to 2 sheep. At level 2, they can raise up to 4 sheep. All the way to level 5, where they can raise up to a maximum of 10 sheep at a time. They are primarily set to only raise vanilla Minecraft sheep, but they may be able to work with other modded sheep, so long as the sheep are coded in a similar way to vanilla sheep with normal breeding behaviours. They will collect any modded materials that the modded sheep drops upon butchering or shearing it. If they have been set to breed their sheep, then the shepherd will butcher any sheep over the amount that they can look after at their current hut's level. So, if your level 1 shepherd has 3 or more sheep within their hut's area, then they will butcher any adult sheep until they are left with a maximum of 2 sheep for that level. The shepherd will use an axe to butcher their sheep, with the type of axe that they use being dependent on their hut's level, and the damage dealt to the sheep being dependent on their own strength skill. They will pick up any drops from the slaughtered animal, allowing you or your colony's couriers to collect them for use. Shepherds only butcher adult sheep, not baby sheep, so sadly, no lamb chops for your colony, I'm afraid. The shepherd will continuously breed sheep together to keep producing products for the colony. They do this by using wheat to breed together 2 adult sheep to create a baby sheep, just in the same way that we the player breed sheep together. This breeding process does produce experience orbs, which you can pick up should you wish. The shepherd will feed the newly born baby sheep more wheat to speed up its growth timer until it becomes an adult, at which time it can then be bred with other adult sheep and the cycle continues. Alongside breeding and butchering their sheep, the shepherd can also be told to shear the wool of any adult sheep within their holding pens. They will require shears in order to do this, and will head out to shear a sheep whenever they aren't breeding or feeding other sheep. The shorn sheep will regrow their wool once they eat some grass, just as they do normally in game. The amount of wool that the shepherd collects from a shorn sheep will vary, but can be increased as their focus skill levels up as they continue to work. Alongside shearing their sheep, the shepherd can also be told to dye their sheep's wool different colours. Upon shearing a sheep, the shepherd will have a small chance of dyeing that sheep a random colour for when its wool grows back. The dye colour chosen will be random, but can be any of the 16 vanilla dye colours in game. The shepherd does not need to be supplied with any materials or dyes in order to dye their sheep. They will simply dye them a random colour by themselves. The shepherd uses the focus skill as their primary trait, where they will level it up as they continue to work. A higher level in this skill will allow them to collect more wool from their sheep. They use the strength skill as their secondary trait, where they will also level this up as they continue to work. A higher level in this skill means that they will do more damage per attack to their sheep. If you wanted to have one of every type of wool colour available in game, then here's a few tips on how you could use the shepherds to do that. Set up 2 level 4 shepherds in the colony and have both of them look after 8 sheep each for a total of 16 sheep, which should give you enough sheep for every vanilla dye colour available. Turn the breeding option off within the hut's interface so that they stop breeding more sheep and therefore stop butchering sheep, and the shepherd will only then tend to the 8 sheep that they have. With the shearing and dyeing options toggled on, your shepherd will come out and have a small chance at dyeing a sheep a random colour every time that they shear them. When they dye a sheep the colour that you're after, then simply take that sheep out of the hut's holding pen, away from the hut entirely, so that the shepherd won't interact with that sheep anymore. Replace any sheep that you have removed, or have the shepherd breed more sheep to replenish their numbers, and then just slowly allow them to dye more sheep until you end up with all of the colour types that you need. Once you have all of the colours that you wish, toggle the dyeing option off within the shepherd's hut interface, and then you can bring back the sheep to the shepherd for them to continue shearing without the worry that they'll re-dye them a different colour. One problem that you may find with your shepherd's hut is that the sheep that they are raising will probably end up escaping their holding pens. Whether by finding a block to use to jump over the fence, or by quickly escaping through an opened gate, those little rascals will certainly find a way out one way or another. What will most likely happen, as it has done to me in pretty much every single playthrough so far, is that the sheep will escape their pens, so your shepherds will start to breed the remaining ones to replenish their numbers, and then those new sheep will escape, and so your shepherd will again breed more to replenish their numbers, until you are very quickly overrun by those little fluffy that just end up absolutely everywhere. Welcome to heaven, everyone. Anyone fancy a sheep or two? or free. So to combat this, here's a few holding pen tips that I've taken from the Mine Colonies Discord. Put a pressure plate outside of the gate so that the shepherd will press it whenever they leave the pen, which will close the gate behind them. Create an airlock pen. Have a second layer of fences and gates before the main pen, so even if they do escape, they are trapped in a secondary pen, which you can then lead them back through into the main one. Create a tunnel and fill it with scaffolding, and replace any gates with solid fences around the pen. Your idiots can still use the scaffolding to get down and up into the pen, but the animals will not be able to use them to escape. I think if I were to do any of these, then I'd probably go with the airlock pen design. It's far easiest in my opinion, but hey, you do you. The front page of the Shepherd's Hut interface will show you the name of the hut and its upgrade level, unless you have renamed the build. You can also see the shepherd assigned to work at the build here as well. Through the Manage Workers option, you can assign and unassign a shepherd to the build. You can recall the shepherd to their hut by pressing the Recall Worker option. The build options will show you what is required to upgrade the hut, as well as options to repair or deconstruct it. Pickup priority will determine how much of an effort your couriers will make to come pick items up from the hut, with a higher priority level meaning that couriers will make more of an effort to collect more frequently. You can also force couriers to pick up items immediately by clicking the Request Pickup Now option. The inventory button will show you what type of items are in the building's storage, with the chest icon beside it allowing you to search for a specific item. The minimum stock tab will allow you to specify items that the shepherd should always have within their storage. Wheat, axes and shears are always good items to have stocked within the build. The Settings tab displays a list of all of the different toggleable options for the shepherd. Here you can select if the shepherd breeds their sheep or not, which will also determine if your shepherd will butcher their sheep as well. You can toggle if the shepherd will use wheat to speed up the growth time of baby sheep or not through the feeding option. The dyeing option will set if your shepherd dyes their sheep's wool different colours or not. And finally, the shearing option will determine if your shepherd will shear their sheep's wool or not. And that is everything that you'll ever need to know about the shepherd and their hut. An ideal build for those colonies that require a lot of wool for their builds, plus an easy food source for your restaurants. Thanks for watching, and I hope this tutorial has helped. I'll see you guys in the next one.